Box Audio.
What's happening, everybody? It's me, Tom from CannabisIndustryLawyer.com. We're here for another big episode of Cannabis Legalization News. What is that? It's where we explain the marijuana laws so that you can change them and also get a license. Today, we're going to talk about 2023, which I guess is the year that we're in now. What states are going to be legalizing? That's our lead story. Let's get to our lead story. Make sure that you tune in all the way to the end because we're going to have some really cool things. And now, the lead story. What's up, Miggy? How have you been?
Hey.
Where are you at, man?
I am in Barcala, Mexico. It's like 4 hours south of Cancun.
4 hours south
it's
of
beautiful
Cancun.
here. Yeah.
Well, the internet doesn't look all that great, but hey, I'm glad that you're on vacation and you still came in to the podcast. You shared some really big memes this week on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/freethc. We're almost to 400,000 followers on it. We're at 397K, by the way. The big one from this week was not the new office, by the way. This is, I have an after picture now. I'll have some after pictures. The new office is coming, and I won't be in my basement forever. Take that, Mom.
Right on.
But this one blew the heck up. That was like 62,000 times last week. I'm going to give it some love as well. So don't forget to follow us over at facebook.com/freethc for all the dank memes that Miggy likes to show. But this is the big news. 4 states have a good shot of legalizing cannabis in 2023, according to MJBiz Daily. Not bad.
I think Minnesota is a contender.
Minnesota? Yeah, Minnesota, like their bill continues to move out of different committees. And so the Minnesota bill has actually moved out of more than one committee already. It's very exciting. I have some people that have delved into it, and now we have to make all these websites, and then I have to look at it. But Texas is open. Illinois is opening later. You guys are going to want to stick around. We're going to have a deep dive on how to win a cannabis license from any state, because Miggy is a double social equity. Texas is open until April 28th for dispensaries. That's a very difficult one. We'll do a deep dive on the Texas one pretty soon, probably within the next week or so. Monday, we actually have a webinar on this, how to win a dispensary from any state in the United States. I'm going to leave this in the chat for people that are double social equity. The double social equity is exceedingly important. And Miggy, what was your address again?
I'm in, a border of Seattle, so I thought that
let's not give the humans your address.
Yeah.
I will give an address that I no longer live at. All right, so like I no longer reside at 5329, so don't try to screw with the person who lives there now because it's not me. Glen Elm, North Glen Elm Drive, Peoria Heights. I was social equity because I lived in a food desert, unbeknownst to me. You put your address into this. If you're in it, it could be anywhere, including Seattle, where Miggy's came up green as well. Miggy, you've also been arrested, right?
Yeah, I've been arrested, but see, that's for your guys' equity, right? So, like, I don't know how they're devising, probably because for Washington State, it's the medium income, right? Where I've already
none of that shit. None of that shit. We don't do any of that shit. You are double social equity. I think we're going to call the LLC Miggy's or Miggy 420 LLC. And then you own 51%, I own 49%. And then we talk about statistics of where do we think we should apply.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like here in Washington State, they've announced their social equity plan, right? It's going to be opening up in March, but they still haven't listed the licenses. Like with all the pandering that they've been doing, as far as how they make you train and take all this business classes. Well, how am I supposed to have a business plan if I don't know what license I'm going to be getting? Like that's kind of failing right now in Washington State.
You didn't have. I know it sucks. But in Illinois, we're playing that lottery, and we're going to do like a little video on it when it comes out after the 30th. When you get back to the States, and we'll fill it out. It's like $250. Roll the dice anywhere. Sure. And so if we win, I say we sell 80% of the license for $2 million, and then we just keep a little bit of it, and then we have some money, and then somebody else runs it, and they're like, yeah, we own that.
So, like, if I win a social equity license, though, do I have to own it for a while, like a minimum requirement? Do you know?
Oh yeah, but we structure that in all the transactions that we have, and so like there's holding periods, there's bring down certificates. The closing will take it'll be a structured transaction, as I like to call it. And if you guys need some help on those, don't forget to go to cannabisindustrylawyer.com because I've done these for other clients. There's ways that you do them; they take forever, but you follow the rules, you comply with them, and sometimes the law is involved. You can find it at cannabisindustrylawyer.com.
I mean, you need lawyers for, especially these upcoming states that might be legalizing, like, Oklahoma or Pennsylvania,
There's the 4 states: Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, and Minnesota legalizing it in 2023, the main story of the day.
Do you know, like, say, the Minnesota one, though, who's funding them? So like I think here in Washington, what finally got through was the New Approach money, and New Approach money? Yeah, that's the name of the campaign, New Approach. They did Washington State's, they did Colorado's, I think, because here in Washington they've tried several times grassroots wise, but I hate to say it, but for policy you really need this out of state money to come in sometimes.
Yep, you do, and then Washington State has been one of the most restrictive against outsiders. And so like a lot of Washington state brands only exist in that state. It is pretty fascinating about that. But our lead story of the week for the 2023 year, these are the 4 states, according to MJBiz.daily.com, with the best likelihood of legalizing it in 2023. That is Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, and Minnesota. All of them already are medical. All of them. Pennsylvania and Ohio have like the MSO style of medical. Minnesota's medical, pretty weak. Oklahoma's pretty open market.
Do you know if the Pennsylvania law, if it passes, is it the same one we talked with that governor at one time?
Oh heck no! That's been so gone for now that it's a completely different bill. And so the bill that I'm following in Minnesota is completely different than the bill that we reported on 2 years ago. So I updated the page that says, this other bill is going to pass. And anyway, if you guys want to become members, like that Ken Abazam, he's a member. We'll answer your questions if you guys have any and you're a member. And then also we can sometimes give you some stuff. One of the books that I wrote back in the day, or a t-shirt. This one goes all the way back. Miggy ordered these, I want to say in 2020 at least. Remember these ones? This is like even our old, the binary, and then like our old logo.
Oh yeah.
You get, if
that was
you
the
get
first set of
the
shirts.
Name that strain. Yeah, that's right. Like 2-3 years ago now. If you get the Name That strain today, you can win this shirt if you get the Name That strain. So stick around for that one. That was our lead story. Once again, thanks for joining us. According to MJBiz Daily, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, and Minnesota have good chances of legalizing it this year. Please drop your state in the comments, and we will be doing some reports from that. Tune in for Texas reports, tune in for Minnesota reports, Illinois reports. But now our next story of the week.
New York.
Are we going to New York, New York? Oh, man, I wish we had a New York, New York bumper, but we don't. We do have quite a few of them, and so I would say this is in trending.
There you go.
New York's second legal pot dispensary set to open on Tuesday in Greenwich Village, sometimes pronounced by people that don't know as Greenwich Village.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's funny how they still refer to it as dispensary, right? These are the rec shops opening up. Correct?
These are the rec shops. I mean, you can't really see this, but this is out of NBCNewYork.com. So you know that it is a legitimate news outlet, much like Cannabis Legalization News. Thank you so much for tuning in. You guys are awesome. But you know what they're calling this one? Do you know what they're calling this frickin' this thing?
The store?
Yeah.
No.
Smacked LLC. Smacked
Okay.
LLC is scheduled to open next week at 144 Bleecker Street with a nearly month-long soft opening for the Greenwich Village location. Doors are expected to open at 10 a.m.
So it sounds like a family's owning it. Roland Connor is open Smack LLC with his wife and son, and with the support
That's
of the New York
awesome.
Social. Yeah. Or
Well,
I guess
it was so difficult. It was so difficult to get in, and so I'm pretty sure that this guy has like some pull in that state. Probably has to, but you know, it's great to see that now there's another dispensary. There's supposed to be 150, and there's already been, I believe, 37 New Yorkers that were completely justice involved and also had some business records. They've been processed. When will there be 2,000 dispensaries in New York? Because I've read there was some news stories going around LinkedIn this week that evidently there's thousands of unregistered cannabis bodegas operating in the state of New York. There's 2 lawful ones. They don't allow the medical ones in. So, you know, the medical guys are just going to be sitting there not helping at all. And maybe that's why it's going so slowly.
Well, as I was saying about Washington State, we had medical. Our numbers haven't even hit the what they used to be, right? Like there were thousands of dispensaries where I can go to across the state. When you had your medical card, it was like a magical access pass to like stores in different cities. You know,
but there's the whole there's a lot of the bringing up the ladder behind you aspect that happens in legal cannabis, and so why don't they want all those shops? Because you should be going to my shop. You should be going to Miggy's. Come on, go buy your weed from Miggy's.
You know how the process, but you know how the process works though. To get involved, to be like, you know, even though you have a pot shop open already, you can't just be like, I am the culture. I am, because you got to go play with the rule people. You got to say, okay, hey, you know, here's a reason why there should be X amount of applicants, or why the rules should go this way. But no one really does, because they do it's mine. I protect it until what happens is
mine. Nobody else needs one.
But the laws. And here's what, you know, I'd like to say I'm a Nostradamus, right? Because I saw all the shit happening for Washington State, and it's still unfolding, especially after 10 years of legalization, where it's not real legalization, and it's slow. You know, there's no home grow still. There's no equity in the testing of the products. There's a lot of issues with it. So with that, you know, the same thing with, well, even with our next story about the FDA. When you talk about regulation,
let's wrap up. Let's wrap this one up though. Like I wanted to give shouts out to Roland Connor, who is one of the entrepreneurs opening Smacked LLC with his wife and son, with the support of the New York Social Equity Cannabis Investment Fund and Bronx Cannabis Hub. You see how I said that he was connected AF? He is connected AF because he's got this money coming in from those guys and whatever the frick the Bronx Cannabis Hub is. But he has quotes. I am so excited to be part of history as the first individual to open a legal cannabis dispensary in New York City. Given my experience with cannabis, I never could have imagined I would be opening a store like this. Now, he said that in a statement, so you know he could have proofread it. Anyway, he has some more stuff in his statement. But this is not just about me and my family. This is about everyone who was harmed by the draconian drug laws of the past. New York's commitment to righting those wrongs through the law is inspiring. I am proof of that, and I am standing here today.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming when he says here today, he is actually in front of his dispensary.
Well, I was just saying, mad props to be in that position where you own a pot shop and you're just like,
hell yeah.
You're just one of the biggest states, you know. I didn't realize New York is not one of the biggest cities. I always thought it was, but it's not. It's like the third, I think. But because here in Mexico City is the second biggest one. So, and they don't have any pot shops. So
yeah, that's too bad. I mean, they may look down on it a little bit. I'm going to move us around something to see if that helps with your video feed. Now, Miggy is joining us from.
Lagging you?
You got the resort Wi-Fi going on. It's okay. You know, look at him. He's wearing shorts and no sleeves, enjoying the life.
Oh yeah, dude, it's fucking 80 degrees. Living my life, it's all good. So, awesome. So yeah, but I'm just saying, like, overall, my point is with regulation, it's just rules, right? When regulations, like, what are rules? There's no like exact rule for any of this shit, but there should be, right? Because it's a fucking plant. It's common sense.
That's right. There should be, and rules are getting more difficult to come by, and that brings us to our next story. We have something to report from Cannabis Business Times. And so this gets back to how it is to go through regulations, even though it is federally legal. CBD. Will the FDA take steps to regulate CBD this year? Maybe. That is out of Cannabis Business Times. The industry stakeholders have weighed in after FDA officials told reporters last month that the agency plans to review product regulations in the coming months. There it is. I love how the article starts. Nearly 5 years after the 2018 Farm Bill legalized it, and with the 2023 Farm Bill on the horizon to redefine and maybe clean up this THC fiasco we have. Officials with the U.S. Food and Drug Administration have indicated they may take steps to regulate CBD this year. That's how long the rules take, man. We're talking 5 years later.
Yeah. Even with rules, what kind of about, right? Level up cannabinoids, right? Or testing. I mean, how more can they do to CBD?
I'm not sure, dude.
Asking for a friend. Did I lose you?
Asking for a friend, but your feed isn't as good. It almost was better outside, and then we could hear birds chirping every now and then. Yeah, it's one of those deals where one of the first things that I do whenever I get into any building is I Google internet speed test because I'm a freaking nerd. I'm so much of a nerd. You know what I did last night? I watched a documentary on Marvin Minsky. Great guy. But still,
who's that?
Thumbs up for Marvin Minsky. Smash that like. But he was the father of AI. So like the artificial intelligence algorithms go back like 70 years, and so he kind of came up with them over at MIT in the 50s. Yeah. Right on, dude. But that's something that you guys all can appreciate. That even when it becomes legal at the federal level, the regulations will take effing 5 years before they're even cognizant. So that's one of the reasons why I think legalization is probably within the next 5 years. But it really is within the next 10. Because after it's been legalized, then it has to go to this rulemaking stuff. And then they've just, I think it could in theory go faster if the whole plant was legalized as opposed to like 99% of it, just the stuff that doesn't have Delta-9 THC. Yeah. Delta-9 THC, Miggy with a cough. Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, that's the problem with this regulation of this plant is they break it up by cannabinoid. I mean, it's kind of dumb. It's kind of like breaking up regulation of tomatoes to citrus flavor, acidity. It's the weirdest way we're analyzing cannabis and marijuana. It's not, even though it's the same, right? Hemp, marijuana. They're putting this arbitrary number that makes it magically that, or is really just the wrong way we're doing things. But
it is. Some people are joining us from Missouri. Shout out to Missouri. Hey, if you're in Missouri, go check out Amaze Cannabis. My buddy Roger has helped them really take off. Great products. Check them out. But Missouri's done a better job regulating. Missouri's done a better job legalizing than a lot of states. Missouri's done a better job than New York, I'd say. But, it's one of those things where every state is taking its own little crack at it, and more people are coming into a legal state. And so it's just the straw that's breaking the camel's back one day at a time. Texas has got a round going on right now. Illinois is going to have a round that starts in a week. Florida's going to have a round this year. Last year, Ohio had a round. Alabama had a round. The rounds are everywhere. And so, not in Tennessee, but,
But that's another thing, right? Yeah. How many other industries are there limited rounds? Because right now you have to get in when you can, right?
Right. It's one of those deals, man. It's one of those.
I mean, like I could do anything I want, at least the United States tomorrow in any state. I think, like, right? I could be a gun manufacturer. I could be a distillery.
Any state. Any state. You can live in any state and win a dispensary in the state of Illinois. And you want help with that? our 420 sponsor, I guess it's 20 past the hour. It's literally 420 where Miggy's at right now. It literally is.
Yes, it is.
And so we're going to be back right after a commercial break from Collateral Base. I don't have it up, so I'm not going to play it. But if you head over to cannabisindustrylawyer.com, you can sign up for our How to Win a Cannabis License course. Tomorrow's webinar, if you haven't already gotten in, whatever. Tomorrow's webinar on how to win a cannabis license from anywhere in the United States will become a part of that lesson. It's the last time it'll be free. Members also get to see the webinar, not in its entirety, because this is live. And so I'm saying things incorrectly.
Yeah.
However, we have this wonderful piece of software called Descript that will fix all of Miggy and R's flubs and make it nice and polished. And so it sounds even better on your commute if you're listening in anywhere. Now, all the podcasts have us. But how to win an Illinois dispensary license from any state in the United States. That is tomorrow. So I'm going to put this out into the comments. If you guys want to go, sign up for it.
I mean, really, that's, for people who pay lottery tickets, this is your chance to actually
True.
Right?
Like, think about the stats on the lottery. Like, what was your odds of winning that $1 billion Powerball? 1 in 300 million. Your odds, like, of taking a $250 investment and pulling an asset that's worth $2 to $3 million, maybe $4 million on the top end if you can put a lot of sizzle on that stake. That might be like, and then we'll do some odds. I'll do some odds when Miggy and I do a deep dive on how to win this, because there's 36 licenses coming to Chicago. Let's say 1,000 people apply and they do a lottery. And so it's 36 over 1,000 times 35 over 999 times 34 over 998. And then we get all of that and you see what one is, because that's all you're allowed to do. But then down where I'm at, you're going to only draw 2 balls, not 36. It's not Chicago. And so how many are going to apply? If it's 4, 2 out of 4, not bad,
Are they doing that, though? Are they limiting your amount of entry?
One shot. And so, I can only be on one application, and I'd prefer if it's, what should we call the LLC, dude? I still say we call it Miggy's Square. Like, Miggy's. It'd be great. I think it's a good name for a dispensary.
Really? So I register at Washington State. I'm there. It's been my neighbor. If I can make money off this shit.
Hey, I would love to be able to cut you a check for $1 million because you're social equity. I'd love for that to happen. I just don't know. I can get you in the lottery. I can't make you win it. It's one of those. It's a lottery. Yeah.
And that's the thing, though. So is it all like? Well, again, they don't even KPI. There's no transparency in how they do your grading. There's no bingo ball system like in Connecticut.
Hey, don't you think it's a little ironic that both of where we used to live was in the thing?
Oh,
a little strange, but whatever. I didn't get arrested. You got arrested. And so, and I don't live there no more, nor do I practice law there no more. Tune in for The Office, which also is in one of those areas. But it's going to take another month. Hey, let's get back to the news, dude. In other news,
veterans.
GOP congressman files a bill to protect veterans who use medical marijuana from losing benefits. I like this. I also like it'd be a nice protection for law-abiding, handgun or weapons owners, firearm owners, to also not lose their benefits because they have a medical marijuana card. But this is interesting in the sense that we're talking about veterans getting a pass from flouting federal law. Why can't Congress frickin' regulate cannabis? Well,
a lot of this has to do with the VA, because it's a legit concern for guys that, like, when I had my issue, my health scare a couple weeks ago, I told them all. They're like, what do you do the weekend? I'm like, I drink beer and smoke a lot of weed, and I was like, I smoke weed, and nobody flinched. That was the night, I guess, because my VA is in a legal state, and so they're all, okay, what else do you do? Do you do anything else? Is there something worse that you do? you know, and I like steak.
You like steak. Again,
yeah.
When was the last time you did pull-ups?
Yeah, oh God, dude, it's been over 20 years.
Yeah. One of the first things that I do when I wake up in the morning is I have the fart that sounds like a trumpet in my butt, and I don't understand why. But then I drink a lot of coffee, me and Danielle, and then we go to the gym, because that's just how you got to live your life. I mean, like, I want to live my life in a way that I avoid health issues. You know,
that's the thing
nice,
too. I mean,
long, healthy life.
Yeah. I mean, and also, I mean, some of that I'm doing that change now. So, but the fact is, the Seattle VA, they did not even like talking about surgery. A lot of times you would have that be an issue. You know, no one made any concern. So
because the anesthesiologist thinks that they're going to have to titrate your whatever the stuff the anesthesiologist gives you.
Your tolerance type shit. I never had an issue with that. So we got some more news though. We got going.
We do. Let's cover the veteran thing a little bit more, simply because I mean it's got
it's just a bill, right?
Cannabis Use for Safe Healing Act. Yes, it is. It's a bill, but then if this is a Republican bill, I bet it can get bipartisan support. Now look, this is the second piece of litigation from Florida Republican Jeff Stubbe. Now that might not be how he pronounces his name, by the way. However, it's going to codify the United States Department of Veterans Affairs doctors to be allowed to discuss the potential risks and benefits of cannabis with their patients. Of course, the fact that there are benefits at all completely contradicts the current scheduling of marijuana as a legal term of art under federal law. But he then has this. The name of this bill is called the Veterans Cannabis Use for Safe Healing Act.
Like I could get that part through, so that'd be amazing.
Let's hope so, man. But then he's also a veteran, and he's committed to ensuring that veterans receive the medical care they deserve. I really hope. I mean, there's just it's from every angle that it's the right choice, and then it still kind of doesn't have any traction. I think it's just because 75-80% of the country doesn't give a crap about weed.
Well, I mean, everybody thinks, again, it's a benign subject for most people, right? It's a childhood thing, but real people are locked up and real families are ruined over it. And that's just the law, not the,
It is. It's just the flipping law, I tell you what. So we got some more stories.
Yeah.
Change in America. Recreational cannabis linked with reduced demand for prescription codeine. This is out of thehill.com from January 20th. This is the research that they would not allow you to do. They would not allow this research to be done 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 10 years ago. They just changed. And so like now they're starting to do research to show possible benefits.
But this is like the third one about like the opiate epidemic or, reduces kids. I mean, how many more good stories can we show people that like maybe we should change the law?
Maybe the law is just completely wrong. Can we change that law?
The scheduling. I think most people don't really like the scheduling is the biggest issue, right?
Mm-hmm. The scheduling but then you see, if you keep it in the schedules, then you have to have the FDA regulation. The problem with the FDA regulation is the 5 years. And so if you deschedule it or create Schedule 6, why don't we create Schedule 6 only for weed? And then it can like bypass the FDA.
Or just schedule it like broccoli.
Okay, broccoli is not in the schedules.
Exactly, though. I mean, it really doesn't need to be, but I mean, I guess there's always got to be a boogeyman, right? This is the issue with prohibition of people, I guess. I don't know. Or ignorance.
Yeah. Ignorance. Some people say it's bliss. Some people say it sucks. Well, let's look at the story, the study at a glance. Through 2019, nearly a dozen states legalized recreational cannabis use. And so we have 3 years. One of the nice things about legalizing it is the data continues to accumulate in real time into the future. New research indicates that these laws were associated with decreased demand for prescription codeine, always a nice thing. Codeine is one of the most distributed prescription opioids in the country and has a high potential for abuse. This might be your little step that you take toward the completely illegal, well, not always completely illegal, but highly dangerous fentanyls or other synthetic opioids.
Again, with the crisis, they had something hard because cannabis,
Maybe
next story
next headroom this episode. It's pretty cool. The next story?
Next.
Let me get to this next.
Hysterical.
Hang on, no. Are we talking about the one with the chainsaw massacre?
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a fact.
Hang on. Let's do a,
we need a fun fact.
Let's. Yeah, that's right. We need to throw. This is just ridiculous, and so, but it is also weed history, and so I'm gonna throw to some weed history on this one right here.
For real, dude.
So I'm not sure if you've seen Night Court. It's been rebooted. John Larroquette is in it, and so that may explain why he has made the news again. Recently, this one comes out of, when was this? It was released on Wednesday, so that would have been, I guess, the 20th or so. MSN, NBC. So just in case you're still watching MSN, which is where NBC's Night Court is, John Larroquette confirms he was paid in marijuana to narrate the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a low-budget movie that called for some creativity. MSN is reporting. Narrated the prologue of the 1974 horror movie, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, without traditional pay.
I didn't even know that was him that did that.
Neither did I. John Larroquette is 75, and he is working on the new Night Court. I watched one of them last evening. It is a formulaic comedy with a laugh track, but that doesn't make it bad. Like the other thing is that 90s show is also a formulaic comedy with a laugh track on Netflix. That just came out, and I was watching that, and I'm like, yeah, it's not bad. It's a formulaic comedy with a laugh track, though.
Yeah, but it was okay, though? Was it reminiscent probably of the 70s show? Yeah.
Of course. It just makes me wish that I had, like, buttons that I could hit, like the laugh track. I wish I had, like, the 5 laugh track buttons from either Night Court or from that 90s show. This podcast would be way more enjoyable with that.
Well, you know the creepy truth about those, right? Those are all the sounds of dead people. Like, all the laugh tracks
was in it. Yeah, that's true. But Tommy Chong was in it. He's in episode 2. You got to check out.
Oh yeah,
yeah. You got to check that one out. It's pretty cool. But good news. John Larroquette's still getting work.
Yeah, I'm watching the quick though.
And so is Tommy Chong. It was a trip to see Tommy Chong. He's clearly wearing a wig, but he was back as whatever Leo. I think Leo was the guy's name in that 70s show. Yeah, so he's back as Leo. Great.
So we got spot stock.
Pot stocks. Let's see here. I want to make sure I get the thing loaded before we hit it. And you see that, and then sometimes before we throw it to the screen, we have to screen the screen, because like when you pull up something from the internet, I have pop-ups, and I hope you click on them, because if you want to see some pop-ups that are going to make you some offers about getting into the cannabis industry, you can head on over to cannabisindustrylawyer.com. But yeah, and so MJBiz Daily, another article from them. I guess it's a pot stock, but not really anymore. Mostly because Columbia Care was sold to Cresco, you see. And that means that this is no longer really a pot stock. It's marijuana MSO. Columbia Care shutters stores, reduces headcount, mostly because they have been absorbed by Cresco, I would imagine. And then they're laying off 25% of their corporate headcount as a part of a larger effort to slash costs, reduce cash burn, and improve performance. This came out of a news release that the company's consolidated cultivation operations in California, Colorado, and Pennsylvania.
Great.
And here's the acquisition. Yep. So Chief Executive Officer Nicholas Vita said the plans intends to bring all profitability to Cresco Labs, which last March announced its plans to acquire Columbia Care in an all-stock deal valued at $2 billion. And do you know what that means, Miggy? That all-stock deal valued at $2 billion? I'm sorry. Yes, $2 billion.
It's all pretend money, right?
No, it was a C corporation transaction, and they had been holding it for more than 5 years. That is capital gains tax-free. You need to go over and check out CannabisIndustryLawyer.com, because that's where we're going to do some stuff about how you can set that up. It's really interesting. There's some aspects of the tax code that allow you to create your entrepreneurial weed business as a C corp, so that you can exit, capital gains tax-free for stock deals like that. It's pretty neat.
It's all the paperwork, right? Like, I mean, that's why you know all these banking rules.
It's paperwork.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why. Yeah.
I had to get a job. That's why I know all these banking rules. Yeah.
But see, that's the thing, right? Like the cannabis industry, everything's going to be applied no matter what, right? It's the same. Right. It's all lateral marketing. I guess growing and
compliance.
Farming. Yeah,
compliance is an aspect of it. Farming, there's practice. I bet that you can't grow strawberries without SOPs commercially. I bet.
No, 100%. I mean, everything's got a structure to it. If you're gonna, that's why I like being here. I like being a technician because I fix things. But it's just weird being on a holiday. And I don't really do much, but we're taking advantage of it because this area where I'm at, we can see it being like overrun by more tourists. Like we're here at a good time, man. It's been beach, blue water still, been too polluted. So, it's like, well, my wife knew that. So I don't know. I'm just rambling. I'm in paradise.
Yeah, I mean, if we didn't ride the earth so hard, I think the earth would come right back. Maybe we won't in the future, or maybe we'll all be just cinders because Russia sucks. And it's not that Russia sucks. I don't approve of their management. I think there are people that deserve better. Yeah.
I need to speak to the manager.
Right on. So sometimes you have to speak diplomatically. So that's what happened in Columbia Care for that week. What else is going on? Oh, this one's more fun. Is
Arson Hotel?
Yeah, but I'm trying to see where it's at. Oh, I see. This one's out of Vegas. And so we have some Nevada news over here at 3750. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna try to flip to something on that. All right. All right, guys. Artisan Hotel is becoming cannabis friendly and taking on a new name. This is out of the Las Vegas Review Journal. Vegas is quickly becoming the go-to destination location for consumption of the cannabis product. And that's kind of what this is all about. We're talking about Elevations Hotels and Resort President CEO Alex Rizek said Tuesday the property would open as the Lexi. Formal operating date has not been set, but he said hopefully early April. This is going to be a 64-room boutique property, rebranded when it opens as a cannabis-friendly resort in just 3 months. What about that?
And it's non-gaming. It's a non-gaming resort. So that sounds splendid.
I can't wait. The year that I finally, hopefully, get to go to MJBiz, I am going to that resort. Let me know when it opens.
Yeah, that place will be packed.
We'll do an internet speed test, and then because
there you go.
For you to fly to Chicago, or for me to fly to not St. Louis, you live in St. Louis, right? No, for me to fly to Seattle, much less of a risk than we just go to Vegas, because we got flights that are direct from Vegas and Peoria, Illinois. Where else are you going to go? Tampa.
Yeah. Well, I've been to Vegas forever, but that'd be nice.
Well, MJBiz is probably in about, 9-10 months. Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah. So we got Saturn.
What do you think about that, though? Okay, people watch.
Okay.
There's only 90 of you. Who would go to a cannabis theme park in Vegas?
Oh, come on. I mean, like everybody. It better be all 91 of you.
Oh, are you kidding? And like, that's it. That's the detox of the alcohol. You see, you just fly to the weed place, and you just live it up on weed. And what are you doing? Oh, I'm detoxing. I'm trying to get a tolerance break for alcohol. I wanted to just get really high for the next week. Yeah.
Well, I mean, weed tourism is definitely a thing, man. You know, like they're funded, and they had a hot shop. I can imagine. You know, the problem is the waste.
Everybody would be in on this. It's, all the people would be going. Like, and then of course it's just such a great idea. And these types of things will be coming this summer. It's going to be so exciting. So exciting.
Yeah.
Weedland. Yeah. That would be hilarious. What do you call your
Vegas
theme park? Like Disneyland. I love the branding and like the self-love of Walt Disney World, where it's like, what is it? It's Disney World. He named it after himself. You know, Ford Foundation. You know, like he names it after himself. What does it make? Content. Oh, okay. Experience.
Yeah, I mean,
dreams.
I mean, his whole corporation was based off his name. Hempland, that'd be all right. Cannaland, I like it. Then there's also a hotel in Colorado now that
cool.
They do cannabis friendly. Yeah. But hey, you know,
all right, dude. I say we play a little bit of Name That Strain and then wrap it up. Do we have any international news for the year, the day? Oh, we got some Texas stuff, and then we can wrap it up. I may do a deep dive later, but I don't think we have the material. We'll do a deep dive. Like we'll actually do a video where we apply for our cannabis license in Illinois. That's going to be a trip, bro.
No.
Yeah.
For sure, man. You're definitely.
Yeah. But I'm gonna get, if somebody else like squats on Miggy's LLC, I'm gonna be pissed.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, isn't that like an artistic thing, right? Like that's why, you know, I've been using it as my nom de plume, my gamer tag, because of the like backlinks. And, like you Google Miggy, there's 99%.
All right, well, then again, like, I'm not going to call it Miggy 420 because I want the banking relationship to be as cheap as possible.
Oh, yeah,
but also, nice. I like that, you know, if we can get the address that's 420, that would be great. But, you know, it's Miggy's would be the brand aspect of it, where it's you and your friendly face, and then this nice experience that people have. That is what I would try to go with. And then SEO, because like it wouldn't be Miggy's, like that could be like a sub, but no, you're trying to make sure that you're ranking for when people are looking for weed on the internet in a particular location. Yeah, and Google, you know what I'm talking about, but still.
Oh yeah, it's all good, bro. Name that strain.
Name that strain. Unfortunately, Google started talking to me. I'm like, okay, good. That was nice. Thanks for tuning in to Cannabis Legalization News. And this is what we're fighting for, everybody. That right there. That is a beautiful strain. Ooh. And not only that, I want you to know that one is, it's got THCV in it. It is one of the few strains known for its THCV. What is that? It's a good looking strain. Looks like it was well cured, well trimmed, and trimmed. The bud. They got the sugar leaves off of it, and the sugar leaves were sent to extraction. This one is a new one. It's a lower THC, but because it has THCV, it would be an exotic. It would be an exotic strain.
There you go. Let's see. THCV. What is it? I can't.
I am not sure if I can pronounce it, and I probably cannot pronounce it correctly. But it's like THC, like tetrahydrocannabinol variant or something like that. Yeah. It's supposed to be the appetite suppression THC. So in theory, in 5 to 10 years, what we are looking at is diet weed. You would go to the cannabis dispensary and request this strain if trying to lose weight. Wouldn't that be a frickin' trip? Isn't that how you can make 2028 the year where you finally do it? Like new year, new you. This would be the plant that would help. Right.
With the genetics.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're still learning so much about it too, though.
Yeah, I would be interested. This has been bred by Emerald Spirit Botanicals, and I don't know who its parents are. Mostly because it's an exotic, so like they were searching for an expression of THCV. The dominant terpene is myrcene.
Says
no, it's got to go very. Like the word pink. The word pink is in this strain's name. I've never heard of it before. It looks amazing, though. I mean, like it's really interesting that these types of things are going to be coming up. They have CBG, they have CBD, they have THC, of course, THCA. Should really be that clear. And then they have plants that are going to start expressing THCV and maybe some other things. It'll be interesting. Some, CBN, if you just leave it out in the sun.
Yeah. No, but you know, pink's just a lovely genetic type thing. If I had some pink champagne, that was just delicious. Oh, we got it.
Oh, pink champagne. Oh, Pink Boost got us. That is it. Stan Lee Kubrick, still making movies, I hope, but he has chimed in with Pink Boost got us. It is a sativa dominant hybrid weed strain made from a genetic cross between two unidentified parents. Got that one out of the orphanage. It's a 15% THC, and it's a great one for beginners, they say, because it's low. It has flavors like flowers, fruit, mint, and pepper. And it has a record amounts of the novel cannabinoid THCV.
Yeah, someone said pink eye. That'd be a fucked up strain.
That would be. And then let me just check this out on Leafly. First, you know I'm over 21, bro. And second, I am going to get this overlay off of that. Okay, the THCV, it goes way back, way. And so we're talking about February 3rd of 15. So they knew about it then, and they've updated it just this past fall. But it's a tetrahydrocannabinol. That's how that's pronounced. But it's THCV. Unique array of effects and medicinal benefits, purportedly. And so similar to THC and CBD. And then, let's see. It is an appetite suppressant, and as a result, it may help with diabetes because you would be less likely to eat, and then may help reduce panic attacks, interesting on that, and anxiety and PTSD. Stimulate bone growth. I wonder if this is what Irv Rosenfeld used to suppress his tumors for all of those years. He's still alive, by the way, Irv. You know?
Yeah.
Have we ever had Irv on the show?
No, but we should. It'd be interesting.
We could try. It's medical patients. They live it. They don't even advocate for it. They live it.
Yeah. Well, no, but he'd be easier to talk to than Evie. Eva's she's blind and kind of deaf, and it's a hard talk. Yeah. Well, you better remember.
Yeah, I do. Right. That was Hempfest. That wasn't 2021 because that was after, and so they didn't have it then because of the terribleness. But that was 2019. Yeah. That was almost 4 years ago. Time does go by.
It's been a while. Yes, sir.
Time does go by, and this is something that we hope to see less of. To wrap this one up, we got something that we are reporting out of Texas. Texas has said. Seized 7.5 million of cannabis hidden inside of cotton candy at the Texas border. They referred to this. So this is from the Dallas Morning News. And you can go to dallasnews.com for more of the Dallas Morning News. Officers have seized, they call it marijuana, and there is an ad for those that are joining us on the viewing. The drugs, as they said, the drugs, as opposed to the flower material, the flowers, the flowers were found at the World Trade Bridge in Laredo on Saturday. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol found more than 7.5 million, which was 3,300 pounds of it. And so if we are going to do the math on that, I will get my calculator. Miggy, what do you think about this story?
When I used to Tucson, these kind of things happen like randomly. They find a pallet of whatever or this or that. It's always cannabis. They never find a pallet of meth. They never find a pallet of cocaine. It's just always like a low hanging fruit, which I think is kind of, it's like, meh.
And
besides that, it's mixed with brickweed.
Well, that may or may not be true. Because according to my math, that they say, and this is the headline. Let's go back to the headline. Officers seize 7.5 million.
No.
Now, and then we scroll down, and it goes, following search by drug sniffing dog and a non-obtrusive inspection system. I guess that's when you don't, do the rubber glove discovery. Officers discovered more than 33,300 pounds of flower material tucked inside of the blue spun sugar. So they were hiding it in cotton candy. Now, if we have 7.5 million as the top line, and then the divisor is 3,300, that comes to how much per pound, Mickey?
Shit, man, I don't know.
I got it,
but it's not
$2,272. And I will tell you right now, it is not worth it. It is not worth that. That is an overstatement. 2,000. Yeah. You realize that the wholesale spot price of premium indoor grown flower is approximately $1,300 to $1,400 because you just overstated it by like $1,000. And this is Mexican crap. What the fuck?
Dude,
lies
I used to get that crap
in the headline.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely fake news. Probably mostly seeds and stem. But I used to get a quarter a pound for 150, then sell the ounces for 50 and keep one to myself. So I mean, just that was 15 years ago. Stuff. So the weed's probably not even better. It's no better now. So that's bullshit.
It ain't no better no more. I tell you what. But somebody just tuned in, and we are so thankful that you are tuning in. What was the lead story? Let's just recap the lead story. I'll bring it back up and make sure that we zoom in as to the key paragraph from the lead story out of MJBiz. That is, at least 4 states, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, and Minnesota, have a good chance to legalize adult use cannabis this year, according to MJBiz. I think we did it, man. We did another week of the cannabis legalization news.
Keep an eye on Oklahoma, though, man. I'm telling you, that's going to be the one. Like, if the patients, the people in the stores unionize, get their shit together, they can actually, I think, help, change the rules. If not, they're going to get squeezed out because that's what happened in Washington State. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, stay on it. Legalize it right. And the next video that you need to watch is the one that starts right after that. If you like the cannabis legalization news, you enjoy it, make sure that you're a subscriber. Consider becoming a member because one member is supposed to win this shirt before we check out for the day. Who wants the original cannabis legalization news shirt? Any members out there? I want it.
Take a leg.
Come claim it. Yeah.
Take a leg.
Join, become a member. We'll see you next week.
Right on.
We should have like an ending. Like, how do we?
Yeah.
Like Lester Holt's like, thank you, and don't anybody do anything that I wouldn't do. I tell you what,
Oh, we need a cool.
We'll get there after I'm not broadcasting from my basement and you're not in the beach in Mexico.
There you go.
All right. Till next week, everybody.